This conference will now be recorded.
We're going to do you can get this meeting is recording message. I wonder if it's because you were on, was it maybe because it was on mute or something? Okay, so we are recording now?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to gavel us in. This is the Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting, Monday at 5:02 p.m. Maria, if I can call the roll, please.
Okay. Mr. L.
Here.
Mr. Levine.
Here. Here.
Ms. Coleman. Here. Mr. Mallett.
Here. Thank you very much. Did anyone on the board have the opportunity to review the minutes from last meeting? Any changes, comments? All right, seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from our June meeting.
Second.
Can I call the roll, please?
Okay. Mr. Mallett.
Abstain.
Ms. Coleman. Yes. Mr. Alstoff.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Mr. Mallett.
Yes.
All right, seeing as we have no old business, before we get to new business, if you think you'll be speaking today, can I have you raise your right hand? Okay, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, we're going to kick off with two variance requests that I'm going to read at the same time, although we'll consider them separately. We have a variance request for landscaping within parking areas greater than 20,000 square feet in size or 48 or more parking spaces be increased to 10% of the total area devoted to parking spaces and not always required, to 0% provided for the property located at 5625 Central Avenue, parcel number 78-39264, Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution Section 1302C9B. In addition, we have a variance request on the side landscape strips east and west from 5 feet required to 0 feet provided for the property located at 5625 Central Avenue, parcel number 78-39264, Sylvania Township Zoning Resolution Section 1302B. Darrell, if we can have the staff report, please.
Sure. Subject property at 5625 West Central Avenue consists of a 7.7 acre lot on the south side of Central, approximately 0.2 miles west of Reynolds Road. The property is currently vacant, but was previously used as an automobile sales and service business. The subject site is occupied by an approximate 40,000 square foot building along with several smaller accessory buildings. The entire parcel is zoned C2 general commercial. Other C2 zone commercial uses above the subject parcel on 3 sides. Existing automobile sales and service businesses abut to the east and west. To the north are restaurants and multi-tenant office buildings. Single-family dwellings zoned R2 medium density residential abut the subject parcel to the south. The applicant plans to do a partial redevelopment on the subject property as stated in their letter of intent submitted with their applications for variances. The intent is to develop the site into an auto dealership by renovating the existing main building, demolishing the existing showroom and used car building, and adding on a new showroom and service drive. Modifications will be made to the site to accommodate the above building work and minor site improvements such as new site lighting, and some repaving and restriping will also be part of the scope. A new freestanding car wash will also be added at the south of the site near the other accessory buildings. It's further stated that much of the existing paved parking areas will not be altered, and that the applicant wishes to preserve as much parking as possible. In this goal of redeveloping the property, the applicant is requesting 2 landscape variances from section 1302 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. Do I want to read section 1302?
I think we're all familiar with the provision.
You okay with that?
I'm okay.
All right. Anybody else want to add? Thank you.
No problem.
Paragraph B of that subsection dictates that for parking areas greater than 20,000 square feet in size or 48 or more parking spaces, the landscape and permeable area shall be 10% of the total area devoted to parking and drive-ups. The The subject site currently has no parking area or landscaping, and the applicant is requesting a variance from this requirement to retain the 0% landscape cover. Section 1302B of the zoning resolution dictates that new developments and redevelopments within the C2 zone district install a 5-foot landscape strip along the length of the side property boundaries. The subject site does not currently meet the side landscape requirements on either the east or west sides of the parcel, and again, the applicant is requesting a variance to maintain status quo and reduce the side landscape strip to 0 feet provided. Single-family dwellings abut the subject property all along its southern boundary. Section 1302B mandates a 30-foot landscape strip for commercially zoned parcels when abutting residential. To offset the lack of on-site landscaping, it would be beneficial to the residential neighbors for enhanced quantity and species landscaping to be installed within the strip beyond those requirements outlined in Section 1302D of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. Zoning staff recommends approval with conditions of the requested variance to the landscape coverage percentage from 10% required to 0% provided, and to the variance on the side landscape strips from 5 feet required to 0 feet provided for the property at 5625 West Central Ave for the following 3 reasons. 1, the subject site is currently non-compliant with Article 13 of the zoning resolution. The requested variances would not reduce any existing landscaping. 2, the proposed project is a partial redevelopment only that affects mostly buildings. The paved areas are not being redeveloped. 3, approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public. Lastly, zoning staff further recommends the following condition of approval be placed on the subject variance request. That additional landscaping shall be installed within the rear of any residential landscape strip. This shall be equal to double the requirements of Section 1302D1A and or any other landscape requirements the Board of Zoning Appeals decides as a condition of approval.
Thank you very much. Does anyone up here have any questions for Daryl based on the staff report?
When you say double the requirements, is that just double the quantity of planting or, okay. Didn't know if it was like double the width or didn't drill
Yeah,
down.
I didn't mean like double the distance, double the
Additional density.
requirement of trees.
Okay. Any other questions for Daryl? Would anyone else who's here like to speak on this matter? Okay.
I'd like to talk to the applicant.
Yeah, so I had a question for the applicant. So if somebody's willing to come up to the applicant, can you sign in, please, and then state your name for the record?
Daniel Ebert, architect with Colliers Engineering and Design.
Okay. Let you go first.
So, right now there's landscaping in the front today. I mean, there's grass there.
There's grass
Right
between
the parking.
there's grass between the property and Central Ave.
So is the plan to leave that there?
Yeah, that will remain.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's just, all right.
Any others?
That's an easy question.
Question I have is about the condition that was mentioned in the staff report there. Do you have any issues with the condition of doubling the density of vegetation in the back?
And we're talking about the number of trees that would be required in
That's
that
right.
30-foot landscape.
Any,
No, I don't think we do.
okay, just wanted to make sure as we consider this condition, whether or not that would be a factor. Yeah, please.
So the proposed car wash, is that, I'm assuming just when new cars are sold, you guys or service?
New cars are sold, someone brings their car in for service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we talking quantity roughly?
You got a good sense of,
That's tough to say. I would say
Like dozens or hundreds
it would probably be around 1,000 times a month.
in terms of business hours?
yeah, and I think the cars would typically already be on site. It would be somebody dropping their car for service and the techs are going to wash it or washing the car before somebody buys it.
Okay. Other questions from members of the board? All right, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, yep, thank you.
Before I ask the next question, anyone else want to speak on this? Looks like no. Does anyone on the board need deliberative session for this? Again, looks like no. Okay, I want to take these one at a time because we have two separate requests. I'll make that first motion, I guess. Variance request, I'll make a motion to approve a variance request for landscaping within parking areas greater than 20,000 square feet in size, where 48 or more parking spaces be increased to 10%, with the total area devoted to parking spaces and aisleways required to 0% provided for the property located at 5625 Central Avenue, parcel number 78-39264, Swain Township zoning resolution section 1302C9B.
Second.
Thank you.
With conditions?
Yes, with the condition listed in the staff report. We have a second. Can I have you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Malik?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Levine?
Yes.
Mr. Osterhoff?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman? Yes.
All right, thank you. Okay, would anyone like to make that second motion?
Okay, go ahead.
I'll make a motion for variance request on the side landscape strips east and west from 5 feet required to 0 feet provided for the property located at 5625 Central Avenue, parcel number 78-39264, Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 1302B.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Can I have you call the roll, please?
Okay. Mr. Malik?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Levine?
Yes.
Mr. Osterhoff?
Yes.
Ms. Coleman?
Yes.
All right, both of those have passed. You're ready to go. We'll get you something in the mail in the next 30 days.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to read both of these items at the same time as well because they relate to the same property. We have an exception for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 5629 Webster Drive, parcel number 78-65224, Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 1703, as well as a variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a side yard setback of 10 feet required to 3 feet provided for the property located at 5629 Webster Drive, parcel number 78-65224, Sylvania Township zoning resolution section 700A. Darrell, if you have you read our staff report, please.
Subject property at 5629 Webster Road consists of a 9,000 square foot lot on the west side of Webster and Westfield Gardens residential subdivision. The 2,025 square foot, two-story single-family dwelling, constructed in 1927, sits on the approximate front center of the lot. The parcel is split zone with the northwest portion zoned RA low density residential and the southeast portion zoned C2 general commercial. The applicant has applied for a zone change to RA for the entirety of the parcel. The subject property is bounded on all sides by other single family dwellings, also within the Westfield Gardens subdivision. Those abutting to the north and west are zoned RA, while those to the east and south are zoned C2. The applicant desires to construct an addition for a garage onto the existing dwelling. The Westfield Gardens plat was recorded in 1917 and the subject dwelling constructed in 1927. As these were prior to the enactment of zoning in Sylvania Township in 1956, the property is considered a legal non-conforming lot of record. Section 1703 of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution requires that a non-conforming building or structure shall not be enlarged, extended, altered, or moved without approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals. Thus, the applicant is requesting the BZA approve an exception to a non-conforming building. The subject parcel is only 50 feet wide with a 26-foot wide dwelling and no garage currently exists on the lot. The leach field on the rear of the lot presents difficulty in siting a garage and rear yard behind the dwelling. The applicant would like to have a 16-foot by 22-foot single-car garage constructed onto the south side of the dwelling. Section 700A of the zoning resolution dictates a minimum side setback requirement of 10 feet for an RA zone parcel. The applicant is asking for a variance of 7 feet in order to construct this addition within 3 feet of the south property line. 3 feet is also the minimum setback if the garage would be detached from the dwelling. Zoning staff recommends approval of the exception request for addition to legal non-conforming dwelling to the property at 5629 Webster Road for the following two reasons. One, approval of this exception should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility or safety of the traveling public. Approval of this exception should not alter the intent of the Sylvania Township zoning resolution. Secondly, zoning staff recommends approval of the request for a 7-foot variance to the minimum side setback requirement in an RA district from 10 feet required to 3 feet provided for the property at 5629 Webster Road for the following three reasons. One, the existing leach field in the rear yard presents difficulty in siting a garage to the rear of the dwelling. Two, the relative narrowness of the lot presents a difficulty in siting a detached garage on the side of the house. And three, approval of this variance should not present a negative impact upon the public good or neighboring properties or impair the visibility and or safety of the traveling public.
All right, thank you, Daryl. Anybody have any questions for Daryl based on the staff report?
Daryl, just one question. Did we get any correspondence for or against this? Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else have questions? No? Anybody here want to speak on this? Looks like no. Anyone up here need deliberative action? All right, let's go one at a time on this one. Come on, this is the easy one.
I'll make a motion to approve an exception for an addition to a non-legal or a legal non-conforming dwelling for the property located at 5629 Webster Drive, parcel number 78-65224, Sylvania Township, zoning resolution, section 1703.
Second?
Thank you. Can I have you call the roll?
Okay, Ms. Coleman.
Yes.
Mr. Osterhout.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes. All right, the exception is through. Anyone would like to make a motion on the variance?
I'll make a motion for the variance request for an addition to a legal non-conforming dwelling for a side yard setback from 10 feet required to 3 feet provided for the property located at 5629 Webster Drive, parcel number 78-65224, Sylvania Township, zoning resolution section 700A.
Second?
Thank you. Have you call the roll, please?
Okay, Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Mr. Osterhout.
Yes.
Ms. Coleman.
Yes.
All right, that motion is passed, so there'll be something in the mail coming to you guys in the next 30 days. Any other new business? Looks like no. I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, look at you.
Second.
It's kind of a topic. You guys want to decide?
Doesn't matter.
We'll give it to Don.
Okay,
All right, can I have you call the roll, please?
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Levine.
Yes.
Mr. Osterhout.
Yes.
Ms. Coleman.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned at 5:20.